Welcome back, everyone. World Baseball news for the week of October 31st. Halloween this year comes right in the middle of the World Series, just before the start of the Korean and Taiwan series, and just after the Japan series. A little WBC news. Team Venezuela has added 28-year-old Orioles outfielder Anthony Santander to their roster. The 6-year Major League veteran is coming off the best season of his career, hitting 33 home runs and batting in 89. Here's what Venezuela's got now. In the outfield, Santander joins Ronald Acuna Jr. In the infield, Andres Jimenez at short, Jose Altuve at second, Luis Arias at first, Salvador Perez at catcher. Just need one more outfielder and a third baseman and they're set on the field. Miguel Cabrera at DH. Rotation includes Pablo Lopez, Jesus Luzardo, Ranger Suarez, and Herman Marquez, with Jose Alvarado in the bullpen. Team Nicaragua, making their first WBC appearance after qualifying a few weeks ago, have their first active Major League player to commit. Yankees pitcher Jonathan Loaizaga committed last week. The 27-year-old right-hander made 50 relief appearances for the Yankees over the summer, posting a .413 ERA. Team Puerto Rico has added one to their already strong bullpen, 32-year-old Mets reliever Michael Givens. He made 59 relief appearances this season with the Cubs and Mets, posting a .338 ERA, though he was much better with the Cubs than he was with the Mets. Bad news for baseball fans in Korea. The MLB Korea series scheduled for mid-November has been canceled, citing contractual issues with a local promoter. They don't give details, but what many think is that tickets weren't selling because the prices were way too high. Very disappointing news here. There is a new champion in Japan. The NPB season came to an end on Sunday in Game 7 of the Japan series. Before last week, the Tokyo Yakult Swallows had taken Game 1 over the Orix Buffaloes. Game 2 ended in a tie, so the Buffaloes started the week in a 1-0 deficit. Game 3 Tuesday, Keiji Takahashi got the start for the Swallows. For the Buffaloes, it was Hiroya Miyagi. Both pitchers kept it scoreless through the first 4 innings, but in the 5th, Tetsuto Yamada hit a 3-run blast to put the Swallows ahead. In the 7th, a bases-loaded walk to Murakami made it 4-0 Swallows. In the 9th, Murakami hit a 2-run double, then was brought home on a single from Jose Osuna. Buffalo scored 1 in the 9th to avoid a shutout, but this one was all Swallows, 7-1 to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Takahashi threw 6 shutout innings to earn the win. Game 4 Wednesday, 42-year-old Masanori Ishikawa on the mound for the Swallows. Buffaloes went with Taisuke Yamaoka. In the 3rd, Yutaro Sugimoto singled to drive in the first and only run of the game. Buffaloes only had 3 hits for the entire game, but this was the only one they'd need. 4 1/3 shutout innings from Yamaoka, 4 2/3 scoreless from the bullpen. Buffaloes 1-0 for their first win of the series. Game 5 Thursday, Hikaru Yamashita on the mound for the Swallows, Daiki Tajima for the Buffaloes. Swallows took the early lead on an RBI single in the first from Osuna. In the second, a solo homer from Domingo Santana made it 2-0 Swallows. In the 4th, Buffaloes tied it up on an RBI double from Kenya Wakatsuki, and took a 3-2 lead 1 inning later on a solo homer from Masataka Yoshida. 1 inning later, Swallows regained the lead on a pair of RBI hits, the last one a double from Norichika Aoki. Swallows led 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th with closer Scott McGuff on the mound. A wild throw to first from McGuff on a ground ball allowed a run to score, tying the game at 4. Then Yoshida hit one over the right field wall for his second home run of the day to walk it off for the Buffaloes. 6-4 the final, series tied at 2 apiece. Game 6 Saturday, back at Jingu. Starting pitchers, Game 1 starter Yasuhiro Ogawa for the Swallows. Game 2 starter Sachiya Yamasaki for the Buffaloes. Both pitchers were fantastic. The game moved quickly through the early innings as neither team could hit the ball. That changed in the 6th when Yutaro Sugimoto singled to drive in the game's first run. The Buffaloes loaded the bases after that, but Ogawa got out of the jam. In the top of the 9th, a sacrifice bunt with a runner on first. Swallows closer Scott McGuff, second game in a row. A wild throw to first allowed one runner to score and the other to advance to third. Then a sac fly from Masahiro Nishino made it 3-0 Buffaloes. And that's how it would end. Buffaloes 3-0 to take a 3-2 series lead. Swallows got a leadoff hit from Yasutaka Shiomi in the first inning, and that was the only hit they got for the entire game. Game 7 Sunday, Swallows needed a win to stay alive. They put their faith in Cy Snead. Buffaloes went with Hiroya Miyagi, who had just started 5 days before. First pitch of the ballgame, a home run from Ryo Ota. First time that's ever happened in a Japan Series game. Buffaloes led 1-0. In the 5th, Buffaloes loaded the bases. Masataka Yoshida was hit by a pitch, and 1 run came in to make it 2-0 Buffaloes. Next batter, Yutaro Sugimoto hit a fly ball. Outfielder Yasutaka Shiomi missed it. 3 runs came in, 5-0 Buffaloes. Swallows were running out of time. In the 8th, with runners on first and second, Murakami got them on the board with an RBI single. Next batter, Osuna hit a 3-run blast over the left field wall, making it a 1-run game. But in the ninth, Buffalo's closer Jacob Waguespack retired the side, and the Buffaloes won 5-4 to take the series 4-2. The Orix Buffaloes, for the first time since 1996, when they were known as the Orix Blue Wave, are Japan Series champions. A big turnaround after the first 3 games when it looked like the Swallows were going to take it. Buffaloes shut out the Swallows twice, and they did it all without their ace Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He had one bad start in Game 1, which the Buffaloes lost, and never returned, but the rest of the pitching staff really stepped up. Much was made of the matchup between Munetaka Murakami, the Triple Crown winner from Central League, and Yamamoto, the pitcher's Triple Crown winner from Pacific League, but Murakami was 5 out of 26 in the series, though he did hit a home run and an RBI single. MVP went to Yutaro Sugimoto. He was 6 out of 26 with 3 RBI, and in Game 7 cleared the bases on a fly ball that was missed. Not bad, but I would have given the MVP to Waguespack. He threw 5 scoreless innings in relief, had 3 saves, and closed out Games 6 and 7 with 2 perfect innings. Another amazing thing about this Buffaloes team is that their starting lineup was completely made up of players brought up in their own system, the first Japan Series champion since the 1984 Hiroshima Carp to do that. TV ratings for Game 7 were 13.4% in the Kanto area, where the Swallows play, and 21.2% in the Kansai area, where the Buffaloes play. Good ratings, especially considering they are the less popular teams in those areas. All ready for the Korean series. That begins on Tuesday, November 1st at Incheon SSG Landers Field. We knew the Landers would be there, having finished the regular season at the top of the standings. And last week we had 2 teams, Twins and Heroes, battling in a best-of-5 for the other spot. Game 1 was on Monday. Twins jumped on the board in the second inning on a pair of singles and a throwing error. Next inning, singles by the Twins, errors by the Heroes resulted in 3 Twins runs. They led 4-0. Heroes got on the board in the 6th on a 2-run homer from Yasiel Puig, but the Twins answered right back with 2 runs of their own, and they held on to win Game 1 6-3. Heroes committed 4 errors, resulting in 3 unearned runs. Game 2, Tuesday, Heroes' offense exploded. After scoring 1 in the first, they put up 5 runs on 6 hits in the second to take a 6-0 lead. Twins made a game of it though, 2 runs in the third, 4 runs in the fifth. That made it a 7-6 game in favor of the Heroes. But in the last 4 innings, the bullpens dominated, and that 5th inning score stuck. Heroes 7-6 to tie the series at 1. Game 3, Thursday at the Heroes' home, Gochuk Skydome. Twins scored a couple in the early innings to take a 2-0 lead. Heroes took the lead in a 3-run 6th inning. First baseman Tae-Jin Kim hit the go-ahead single. Twins regained the lead in the 7th on a pair of RBI groundouts. In the bottom of the 7th, back-to-back homers from Ji-Yeol Im and Jung-Hoo Lee made it 6-4 Heroes. And that's how it would end. Heroes took a 2-1 series lead. Game 4, Friday, Twins pitcher Casey Kelly and Heroes pitcher Tyler Epler kept the scoring to a minimum. Heroes led 2-1 in the 7th when they got RBI singles from Puig and Kim, extending their lead to 4-1. In the 9th, Jae-Woong Kim closed it out. Heroes prevailed 4-1 to take the series 3-1. Jung-Hoo Lee was voted MVP of the series. He went 8 out of 16 with 4 doubles and a home run. Heroes are in the Korean series for the first time since 2019 when they were swept in 4 games by the Doosan Bears. The Landers last went to the Korean series in 2018 when they were known as the SK Wyverns, beating the Bears 4-2 for the KBO title. Both teams will be seeking their first title under their present team name. The Korean series begins on Tuesday, November 1st at 6:30 p.m. local time. Landers get 5 games at home, games 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. Landers were 11-5 versus the Heroes during the regular season. In Taiwan, the CPBL regular season came to an end last Wednesday, but before the week began, everything had already been settled for the playoffs, which began on the weekend. So let's skip ahead to that. Game 1 Saturday, Brothers vs. Dragons. Brothers start with a 1-0 ghost win in the series. The Dragons' first playoff appearance in over 2 decades got off to a horrible start. Dragons ace Jake Brigham was taken out in the second after surrendering 5 runs, and they could never recover from that, especially with Jose De Paula on the mound for the Brothers. He lasted all 9 innings for a complete game with 7 strikeouts. Brothers won 6-2 to take a 2-0 lead in the series, 1 game away from closing it out. Game 2 Sunday, Dragons needed a win to stay alive. They scored 3 runs in the first. Drew Gagnon held the Brothers to 1 run in 6 1/3 innings on the mound. Dragons held on for a 4-2 win to keep the series going for 1 more day. Game 3 is going on right now. If the Brothers win, it's over. If the Dragons win, there will be 1 last game on Tuesday. Winner moves on to the best-of-7 Taiwan series against the Rakuten Monkeys. That starts this Saturday, November 5th. And while the championship series are going on in Asia, they are still in the early weeks of the season in several Caribbean countries. Let's see what's going on in the winter leagues, starting in Mexico. Naranjeros de Hermosillo are the early leader in the LMP, starting the season at 12-5. Last week they won both of their series over Yaquis and Sultanes. Then we have no clear second-place team. 6 teams all have a record of 9-8. Águilas, Mayos, Tomateros, Venados, Cañeros, and Algodoneros. Sultanes and Yaquis are a couple games behind at 7-10. Charros are the weak ones so far, starting out at 5-12, but it's still too early to draw any conclusions. Cañeros de los Mochis are looking much better than usual this year. One big reason is the work of starting pitcher Luis Miranda. He's made 3 starts, won 2 games, and has allowed no runs in 15 innings, whip 0.80. Miranda is a former Braves prospect who's looking to have a comeback year. Last year he had an ERA over 5 with Algodoneros. Over the summer he had an ERA over 9 with Guadalajara. Over to the Dominican Republic, let's take a look at the early LIDOM standings. Tigres del Licey lead the standings just as they did a week ago. They are 8-3. Only got to play 3 games last week, splitting 2 with Estrellas and beating Leones on Sunday. Águilas are only a half game behind. Gigantes 1 game back. Estrellas 3, Leones 4.5. Toros went 0-5 last week. They are now 3-10. Oddly, Toros are the league leader in home runs with 9 as a team, but are by far the lowest scoring team. Tigres continue to lead the league with the most runs scored and the fewest allowed. 24-year-old Tigres right-hander Elvin Rodriguez has made 2 excellent starts. Only 8 innings, but he's allowed no runs, only 2 hits and 2 walks, struck out 13. Rodriguez made his major league debut over the summer with the Detroit Tigers, but it didn't go well. 29 innings and 35 runs allowed. Next up, Venezuela, only the 2nd week and the 1st full week. Leones del Caracas have yet to lose a game. They are 5-0 to start the season. Tiburones haven't played much but are looking good at 3-1. Cardenales 3-2, Águilas 4-3. Caribes and Navegantes are both at 500. Navegantes, the defending champions, were 2-0 on opening weekend, but went 2-4 last week. Bravos are 2-3, and Tigres de Aragua are 0-8 to start the season. And it's not just bad luck, they lost every game by at least 4 runs. Only got shut out once. Most of the time they have no trouble scoring, so pitching is a problem there. This early in the year, the stats still look ridiculous. Caribes' third baseman Andrew Monasterio is 9 out of 17 at the plate with 4 walks. His slash line is 529, 619, 765. Monasterio is a 25-year-old Brewers prospect who reached AAA Nashville over the summer. And last, we have the 6-team Cuban Elite League, in just the 2nd week of its first and perhaps only season. Ganaderos are the leader at 4-1. Agricultores are right there with them at 5-2. Tabacaleros are 1 game back. Cafetaleros and Centrales are both 2-4. Portuarios are last at 2-5. Only 6 teams with all the best players from the Cuban National Series. I expect these standings to be close throughout the season. And that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.